It's Monday, July 17th, 2023.
Thank you.
Board of Equalization meeting to order. First item is roll call. Mr. Brett Town.
Present.
Ms. Eleanor Thompson.
Present.
And I'm Patrick Crowley, and I'm here. All right, we've got, well, let me see, have you got a copy of the agenda? I'll make sure we don't have, I'm missing it, yeah. We don't need to approve these minutes that are on the agenda that's already been done.
Correct.
So we've just got this one property before the board. The owner is Sovereign of Oklahoma LLC. The address 1300 Sovereign Row. Looks like the assessor had initially $1,936,056, and then at the informal apparently came down to $1,761,936.
That is correct.
The taxpayer is asking for, and I use this as a quote, an appropriate value.
At somewhere in there, it said $1,500,000.
Yeah, then he turns around and says 1.5 million.
I believe that's what he said on his,
Original.
is informal to us. I think he said, yeah, 1.5 when he first appealed it to us.
Okay. Well, we get conflicting things when they're, generally, you file an appeal, and you want an appropriate value, well, then that's kind of curious. But he's got some other stuff attached here, and somewhere in there we find 1.5 million. This is account number 3000, and it's going to be by phone, so we'll call them now.
Hi, yes, just a moment to let me get the other gentleman on the line.
What are we doing?
I'm adding the other
Oh, we
person
got
to the
more than
line.
one person we're gonna talk to at a time?
They're both together
Okay.
on the same.
Hello.
Hi, yes, sir, this is the Board of Equalization. Just a moment, please.
Good morning, this is Patrick Crowley, I'm chairman of the Oklahoma County Board of Equalization. Who am I talking to?
This is Lou McGinnis,
All right.
Jason Rogers.
All right, we got two of you on, Jason Rogers and Lou McGinnis. We're just gonna try and limit it to one of you talking. We've got a property here at 1300 Sovereign Row. It's our BOE number 183. It's account number ending in 3000. The assessor has had this initially $1,936,156. Came down apparently at the informal to $1,761,936. And on your appeal form, you want an appropriate value, but then later on we find 1.5 million. Have you guys settled on at least which one of those that we should be looking at?
Well, you have comparables one block from there that are based on.
Wait, Mr. McGinnis. I just need an answer to the question. What are your value that you want? I don't want an argument at this point. I just want to know.
No, I was just trying to explain to you. But if you don't want me to do that, I won't do that.
Yeah, I don't need an explanation now. I just need to know what value you're asking for.
I'm asking for 600,000.
600,000, okay. gives us a number. All right. Tell us what you want us to know about, which one of you is gonna talk about this piece of property?
I am Lou McGinnis.
All right, Mr. McGinnis, tell us what you want us to know about this property at 1300 Sovereign Road.
Okay, it's entirely vacant except one space that generates $800. It's a 1,000 square feet. Otherwise, it's entirely vacant, and it's been vacant for the last 2 years, even though we've continued to try to lease it out. And when we compare that to property that's one block away that's sold, which is 4300 Island, sold for $20 a square foot, and that was 50% vacant when it sold. We've got a property here that's almost 100% vacant. And we've also got a negative factor to this property, is we have ice right next to it, the facility, which is not a plus, is because people are concerned, especially with employees. If they have employees, then whoever would rent this would have employees. They're concerned about ice. Now, this property, originally, the government was buying this for to have like a Social Security office in, and then they changed their mind. They didn't want it next to ICE too, so they backed out on that. So that's where we're at on the property. The property was built in the early 80s, so it's over 40 years old. The property is located on Sovereign Road, which is a one block off of Meridian, but from the standpoint of leasing, it's a negative to it, because when we compare it to the one that says sold, which is one block away, which is on 4300 Island. Highland ties into to Meridian, and so if you have an office, it would be easier to locate on Highland than it would be on Sovereign Road. So that's the deficiencies we see with the property at this point.
All right, how many square feet total is this building?
24,000.
Okay. And you got 1,000 of it leased, the rest of it is vacant,
Yes, sir.
okay? And it's been vacant for more than a year.
More than 2 years, going on 3 years.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to tell us at this point? Have you been before the board before?
Have I been before? Many years ago.
Okay.
But not on this property, no.
Yeah, all right, way this works is we're going to listen to you first, and then we'll hear from the assessor, and then you'll have an opportunity to respond to the assessor, okay?
Yes.
All right. Are you finished at least for the initial part?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll hear from the assessor.
Good morning, Mr. McGinnis. This is Steve Storff, the County Assessor's Office. So our hearing officer, she looked at the lease that was provided to us. On page 2 of the lease, it says that the tenant, which I think is a CPA, rents for $1 per square foot per month at $860. So that equates to $12 per square foot per year.
That's right, including utilities
Yeah, yes,
and
apparently.
janitorial.
Yeah, so it's a triple net lease, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so our hearing officer did an income approach using the $12 per square foot. She gave a 21% vacancy rate, which is extremely high and from what we typically do on what market is, but we do allow some extra sometimes. She actually allowed 30% expenses on there. We didn't get a list of expenses. So it would be understandable because he only had such a small amount of it leased out. And she used a 10% capitalization rate that put her at $1,647,000, let's say, on the income approach. She also pulled a couple of sales. They were not. The one he referred to was not included in here. She just found two. One of them at 8524 Southwestern for $77 a foot. Another one at 200 Northwest 66 at $88 a square foot. So she looked at the income and these two sales, and she used those to come up to this value of about, let's see here.
$1,900,000.
It's the $1,761,000 is what she brought it down to. So the $1,761,936 divided by an overall building size of 24,816. It's the overall. He's probably talking about rentable area. We're talking about outside measurements. So so she came up to $71 a square foot overall on it. So just based on what we got from the lease and the two sales that she looked at, it's all we got right there. Those two things. We looked at the lease that they brought us, and then those two sales, and we lowered it, what, $150,000.
So what at the end of the day, he's got 1,000 square feet that he's got actually leased.
860. Because based on the
Okay,
lease,
yeah,
it says
yeah.
$1 per square foot per month.
And
But-
there's 24,000 square feet there.
He
and
has
the
a very
rest
high
of it-
vacancy rate, that is correct.
The rest of it is vacant.
Let me ask this question. I did notice in one of his notes here, said they have a sign out in front of it and had advertised it on Craigslist, and they had no responses. Craigslist I don't get on for looking for commercial property, you know.
No, I wouldn't think it'd be a Craigslist.
I thought that was kind of odd, but the other stuff is true. It has a very high vacancy rate. It is located next to the ICE building right there. I didn't know anything about it, but I think it's has an extremely high vacancy rate for the area over there. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many people are gonna be concerned about ICE being there, unless they're here illegally. But
I will say this though, is that she did look at other vacancies over there and in that sub-market, and it does say that there's like a 21% market vacancy in that area, so that's why she used it in her income approach.
This is
but
like 96.5%.
yeah,
Exactly, yeah. And the list that she provided for the west sub-market, you had anywhere from 0% vacant up to 51, 54%. So there are some that have some high vacancies over there. And I don't know if it's because of the makeup of the buildings, if they're like flex space where there's quite a bit of office space and then quite a bit, it's split pretty high between the two, office and storage space or whatever. Not sure about that.
I have a question on, when you do sales comps, do you take into consider, you just look at what the property was square footage,
Can I call you back?
sort of like the likeness, sales price, but do you consider whether the sale took place with a high vacancy rate?
We'll try to. I mean, I can't say that 100%
Okay.
accuracy.
Distressed
It's,
sales, kinda-
you know, typically it's trying to find buildings that are the most similar to the subject at hand or whatever. But, you know, we won't always know about what the situation is within the building at that time.
Where's I-40 from this?
It's a couple blocks to the.
Yeah, I-40 is about 2 blocks to the north.
Okay, this is one where that's all business related, then there's the Cracker Barrel somewhere
Yes,
located,
you got the right area here.
okay?
North of that.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that thing, but you're telling me you have 96% vacancy, but, to say that that's because of ice just doesn't seem, logical. But,
No, can I make a comment now?
sure,
Okay, across the street, from Sovereign, on Sovereign Road, that would be on the west side, which is similar type buildings, you have far more than 50% vacancy. And all that, I haven't checked it in the last 3 months, but the last time we checked, you were over 75% vacant. 1 block away where the building that's sold, that it would be equivalent to this building. Well, I don't know on their comparables whether they're equivalent or not, but they're not in the same area. The one that is sold is one block away on 43rd, and that had a little less than 50% vacancy when it sold. And I mean, as far as how we're marketing it, Craigslist is this one thing we use. We use realtors. We use realtors. We'd be happy to fill that and pay a realtor, but we want to do whatever we can, and we found that that typically when we're marketing, we could split that up into 1,000 square foot areas. We can pick those up on Craigslist or on Facebook, and we've done that before on other properties. But this is property that's in a certain area, and there's a lot of vacancy in that area. And when you look at the comparables, the most comparable to it is 1 block away that sold less than 2 years ago for $20 a square foot, and that's 4,300 Highland.
okay, but you're saying your, client, Sovereign of Oklahoma LLC, would sell this building for $600,000.
Yeah, we will sell it today. We'll sell it to you.
For
If you want to buy it.
for $600,000.
Yes, we'll sell it to you.
Okay, all right. Anything else from the assessor?
No, sir.
All right. Anything else you want to tell us about this, Mr. McGinnis?
No, sir.
I'd like to ask.
Wait a minute, we got a question.
The building was built in the 80s. Did you or your client own it then? How long have you owned it?
Owned it since 85.
And what is the highest occupancy you've experienced?
In the 90s, we were at it at 100%, and then after that, the area, there was a lot of turnover in the area, and the highest we had after that was somewhere around 65%.
And you experienced the biggest drop, this was just like a year or two ago?
I would say in the last 4 years, we experienced the biggest drop, and we've seen the biggest drop across the street too. Those aren't our buildings across the street, but we've seen that same thing take place there.
And when did ICE move in?
I moved in about 3 years ago.
Okay. That's all I have.
All right, any other questions? Okay. Taxpayer. All right, anything else, Mr. McGinnis, you want to tell us right now?
No, I think I've explained where we think we're at on the building.
Yeah, and I think we understand that.
Just one other
Wait a
thing,
minute,
assessor.
got another question.
What was your 22 valuation?
Last year's value?
I don't know, we didn't.
I'm
to be
asking the
truthful
assessor.
with-
No, she's asking the assessor.
Oh, okay.
The 1,936,000.
Okay. I'm done.
All right. Anything else, Mr.? Yeah, I think we understand what you were talking about, Mr. McGinnis. Here's what's gonna happen. We're going to meet again Thursday. And the three of us will decide what we believe the fair market value of that property is. We'll send a letter out that day, okay?
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna close the hearing on BOE 183. Mr. McGinnis, I appreciate your input. You've given us a lot to think about.
Thank you very much.
All right, goodbye.
I was thinking in the wintertime, it rains and then it gets ice and then you couldn't park and I was thinking ice.
I know,